Hello everyone, I'm here doing my first video strategy guide review over LEGO Jurassic World. I'm a writer and I really do like writing about this stuff, but I decided after watching Chris's video that maybe video would be the best way to handle this particular guide, just because there's so much I have to show that's unfortunately wrong with it. This is not probably. This is the worst LEGO strategy guide I have ever had. There are so many things in here I don't understand why they're presented this way. This is the worst organization and presentation I've ever seen. I've never seen so many mistakes in a LEGO guide, and the thing I could think of is to try to defend them or whatever, is that I'm fairly certain that the game was rushed so that they could get the game out to meet the release date for Jurassic World. So the guide was most likely even more super rushed. So things were just kind of thrown in, and unfortunately, it's obvious that that's what happened, because this is not normal. This many mistakes, and especially, when I look at the writers, you got Rick Barba and Michael Knight. I mean, the first thing I think of when I think of Rick Barba is Square Enix's RPG strategy game. Totally lost me. I'm a horrible person. Last Remnant or Final Remnant, something like that, which was very, very detailed and all the side quests and everything. So when I saw his name on here, I had hope. And Michael Knight, I keep getting him confused with like 4 other Michaels that write guides, and so I'm sorry, but but his name doesn't come across as someone that normally does guides. That makes me bow my head in shame. But so just to give you an idea of the problem with the organization of this guide, as you can see here, I have 3 bookmarks in this guide. I had to keep 3 bookmarks in here at all times, and it's not because there's a console and a handheld version of the guide, which there is, and I did have to keep a 4th bookmark in here when I was working on the handheld version, which I took that bookmark out because the handheld version, I really didn't need it that often. Anyway, so the reason why I had to have 3 bookmarks in here is because for some reason the guide has it divided up the story section and free play. I don't understand why they did this. Because one thing that the LEGO guides have always done that has always been so wonderful is that they have the collectibles, all of the collectibles that can be found in each level, listed in the guide itself. In the story, in just one section. So what you would do is it would have, like at the very beginning, let's see, flip back over here, because this doesn't even do that. So here in the beginning, like right here, it would have the start. See here, it'd have the story. It never really had the story characters before, so this seems kind of a waste of time for me. But what I would have here is have all the collectibles. So since this game has in each level, so it has all the mini kits and the amber bricks, and this that was collectible for every level, and it would have the gold stud requirement, which it does have that here. So right here for the True Survivor, it had the stud requirement, and I did find these to be pretty accurate. I can't think of really at any time that it was way off, which I have seen some guides in the past. But anyway, so it would have this, and it would list all the collectibles, and it would show where to find them, and then it would also have in the 3rd column, like a little 3rd column, like right here, it would say whether it was story or free play, or it would have it like mini kit 1, it would list underneath the story or free play. So that way, when you went through it, you would know exactly, well, this one's story mode, I can get this now, this one's free play, and then when it had it listed here on the side, it would be 1 color for story and 1 color for free play. And it just made life so much easier, so that even if you were in free play and maybe you missed a story collectible, you could still go back and get it. Well, my thing is that I got the game weeks before I got the guide, so I had finished the story mode before I had even gotten the guide. So I was really going to use the guide for free play. So because I missed so many mini kits in the story mode because I was trying to burn through it, what I ended up having to do was flip back and forth between the free play and story sections. Kind of a pain in the ass. That's why I had all these bookmarks. The third bookmark I have in here is because of all the stuff that's in the hub worlds, and that did not bother me whatsoever because the hub world is huge. It needs its own section. But the most I would have ever wanted in this book would be two bookmarks, 3 if I was working on the console and handheld. But to have at most in this book 4 bookmarks, because I'm having to flip back and forth between the story and free play sections, was ridiculous. Even stranger still, if you go into the handheld section, see, they actually did it that way. You see that? Right there? They have all the collectibles listed, story and free play. So there was no story and free play sections in handheld. So handheld did this. The handheld section is the best section of the entire book. Anytime I had trouble trying to find any of the fossil pieces or the mini kits, and even when I turned on like the collectible detector and I still couldn't figure it out, this guide nailed it 100%. So the handheld section is spot on. Going back to the console section. Not only did I have to flip back and forth, but some of the stuff was labeled incorrectly. Like, let's see, I probably don't have this bookmarked because I should have. I should have been more prepared for this. I think I left it in here after a while. Because what I ended up doing after some time, because I got so frustrated flipping back and forth, and because, well, as I'm about to tell you, there's some things that were incorrect in here. Okay, where is it? Because I really want to get to this thing that was incorrect, because this drove me absolutely insane. Like, I was going nuts and thinking I was never going to get the platinum trophy for this problem. Okay, here it is. So, in the Lost World section, it has a misprint. First of all, it says that right there, finding this is an amber brick. That's not true. That's a mini kit. That happened several times where they swap between the amber bricks and the mini kits. And actually, the amber brick, which is funny because it lists, amber brick there, but then when you go to the story section of that same spot, it shows the real place for the mini brick. I mean, that's the funny thing is that that's the same area. Yeah. See, then here's the story section, and then here's the correct amber brick right here. But because that was listed as an amber brick in 2 different places, they didn't have, they were missing a mini kit. So I was going insane trying to find this one mini kit because I couldn't figure it out. I kept counting the number of mini kits and it said 10, and so I was thinking there was a glitch in the game that I wasn't seeing this one mini kit, and it wasn't until I got the mini kit detector that I was able to discover that what it was that they actually had placed the mini kit, it's this one right here, this mini kit, the droppings rummage, they placed this in both the story and in the free play mode by mistake. They totally missed this one mini kit. This should have been up here in the mobile lab section. Obviously I was able to find it thanks to the mini kit detector, but that's not the point of the guide. I shouldn't, if I was just going to use the mini kit detectors and the red brick detectors and all that, then why even bother having this? And that happened, I didn't have anything that frustrating except for that one spot, but in other, like I said, they had, misprints of whether it's amber brick or a mini kit in several places, and if they kept the organization of this, the free play and story mode in the same chapters, I can almost guarantee you that those mistakes would not have happened. Or if they would have, it wouldn't have been as big. So they have amber brick there twice. Well, you can figure out that one of them's an amber brick and one of them is a mini kit. It's not that big of a deal. You can figure that out. So, I mean, that said, like, I'm texting friends back and forth about it. We can't figure it out. It was it was a nightmare. Now the hub section is pretty good. It actually helped me find a lot of the kiosk areas, which, funny thing is when you find the kiosk and you light up the kiosk, then it immediately points out exactly where all of the collectibles are. But, of course, it doesn't tell you how to get them. And I will say that this really helped me figure out how to get some of those gold bricks, especially the ones in Jurassic World. Like, for example, there's 3 or 4 gold bricks in the Mosasaurus exhibit, and I never would have figured out one of them if it was not for this guide. It was that you had to get the Mosasaurus to eat 6 different sharks, and I guess the only way I could have figured that out is if I just swam around and said, let me just go attack the shark and see what happens. Because, even when you have the gold brick detector, it just says, this is where it's going to appear. It doesn't exactly tell you this is what you need to do to get it. Like if it had, because I tried that. I was like, well, maybe it'll tell me, because sometimes, if you have to like stomp on 4 bricks or something, it'll point to the bricks, but it didn't even point to the sharks. So that's partly game, but thankfully, I did have the guide. It helped me. It helped me find any of the gold bricks that I was like, okay, I see where I'm supposed to get it, but I have no idea what I am supposed to do. So, I will say that. I wish it had a little more information on the races, like ideas for how to do the races, but it just pretty much said, yep, here's a race, go do this, move on. Like, every single one was like drive-through series, checkpoints, blah, 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 blah. It didn't give you any tips. And there was one race I had a lot of trouble with because the controls were bad, and I just wish maybe had given in some tips on how to work the controls, given some vehicle selection ideas. Like, I can tell you, for example, I can tell you right now, if you want to win these races, there are very few races that you have to do with specific vehicles or animals, mostly with animals. There's a couple, like this one race you have to use a raptor. There's another one that you really have to use a gallimimus because it can jump, and you can't use a vehicle. But the 2 ways I found out to complete every single race except for that one stupid toy boat race that, anyway, I'm calm, not thinking about the toy boat race anymore. Either use the gyrosphere or a baby triceratops on ramming speed. You do either one of those, you will win every single race without problems. So I know that's not that big of a deal, but they could have at least just, I don't know, given a strategy for beating the races. Hey, we recommend, here's a quick tip for the gyroscopes. Now, one thing that the LEGO games have always had in their guides is like these extensive checklists. And they did that here. Like, this is the character checklist where you could actually check it off. They didn't have any of this for the gold bricks, for the red bricks. In fact, for the red bricks, that was so disappointing. Because for the red bricks, wait, that's the handheld. This would help if I went to the console section. So for the red bricks, all that they listed, they called them cheats and call them red bricks, and they just have them listed here, and what they do, there's a very crucial thing that's missing here. Where to find them. So when I really wanted that mini kit detector, I couldn't look at this and figure out where that red brick was. So, okay, so we'll go to the hub world, right? The hub world should have that. Because it's got how to get the red bricks in the hub world. It should say which red brick does what. No, it doesn't. It only tells you there's a red brick there and how to get it. Never once tells you where specific red bricks are. So if you're trying to be most efficient and trying to find a mini kit detector early on, or you, like I was, or you're trying to find, I don't know, the red brick detector. Actually, the red brick detector was the last one I found, so that was super useful. Or, I don't know, like you're trying to get your multipliers so you can get some of the stud requirements up and then be able to buy more red bricks and buy more characters and yada yada yada, or vehicles. Guide's not going to help you, which is an absolute shame. Once again, in the handheld, I believe the handheld tells you which red bricks do what. I'm going to double check before I claim that. No, but see, even this one doesn't tell you which red bricks do what. That's amazing. Because to me, that's super, super important. Because that's how I got through. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Okay, so it doesn't have it in the table. But in the handheld section, when it describes the challenge, it tells you right there. So I could have planned that. But to me, that's important. Knowing where to get specific red bricks is very important. So now you see why I wanted to do a video. I had a lot to show, more than I really wanted to scan. I think I'm kind of liking doing the videos thing a little bit more than writing. That's kind of scary. So, yeah. I mean, yes, I did platinum in both the console and in the handheld, and some of that was thanks to the guide. The guide definitely helped me with the handheld. I will say that, in finding some of the Wayward mini kits and fossil pieces and stuff like that. But as for specific trophy hints, doesn't tell you. Like, some of them are very specific, like, you know, score, like the consoles, like you have to score a soccer goal with the raptor. When you're doing your gold brick hunt, you figure out where that is, but it'd still be nice. Strategy guide tells you. I don't know. This is kind of my big beef with achievements and trophies. It's like, don't just say what it is. I can look it up on the trophy list what it is. Give me advice how to get it. Even if you think it's stupid obvious, give me a little bit of advice on how to do it. It's one thing I do ask for. But yeah, I mean, I platinum mostly in the console in spite of this, because it was really, I really can only think of 2 times that I really needed this guide's help for a couple of gold bricks and finding them. But most of the time I relied on my red bricks with the various detectors on how to find stuff. So it's really a shame. And a friend even called me needing a gold brick advice help, and this actually confused her. I took pictures of it to send her, and she couldn't even use it. So if you want it for the handheld, I recommend it, but it's hard to justify how much this costs for just the handheld version. So not Prima's best work with LEGO guides. It breaks my heart, because they usually put out such amazing LEGO guides. So LEGO Jurassic World, to pass up on it. Just go hunt down those red bricks for yourself. Find everything for yourself. And this has been another SGR video guide review. Signing off with disappointment.